So, Anaya, for the project, if you look at the handout that you were given, you can see that there are 5 options, and they're all going to be focused on your dystopian fiction book. So the first option that you can see right here is the journal entries option. So what you're going to do is you would write a 150-word journal entry. You're going to do that 3 times from the different points in the novel. So you'd write 1 journal entry from the exposition, 1 from the climax, and 1 from the resolution. You will pick 1 character perspective. So like if you're reading The Hunger Games, maybe you are Katniss, and you write a journal entry from Katniss at the beginning of the story in the exposition. You write a journal entry from Katniss at the climax when everything's going down, when she's on the cornucopia with Peeta, and then the resolution would be the very end of the story after they've won the Hunger Games, what's on Katniss's mind. So the goal of this journal entry would be to show me a few things. What do you understand about the character? Like, what would her concerns be? What are her thoughts? And also, can you kind of speak in their own tone and voice based on what you know about their characterization? So how would Katniss speak, or so on and so forth. Then you've got the personal letter option, which is very similar to the journal entry, except that the personal letter is written from one character to another character. Some students have decided that they want to do different characters for their letters. So one time they'll write as Katniss, and another time they're going to write as Peeta to Katniss, or maybe they'll switch to Gale. That's fine too. You would just want to make sure that there are different stages in the novel. So one letter should be during the exposition again, 1 letter should be from the climax of the story, 1 letter should be from the resolution at the end of the story. And again, the focus there is on characterization. So what do you know about the character? What would they be concerned about? What are their thoughts in those moments? And choosing who to write to also reveals a lot about the character. Then you've got option 3, which is a satirical magazine ad. So there's 2 parts to this one. You would make the satirical ad, and then you have to write an additional 200-word analysis paragraph using evidence from the text that shows me why you made that choice and the choices in your ad. So what evidence from the text supports the choices that you made in your satirical ad? Now, satirical ads, essentially satire is exaggerating or pointing out things that you disagree with for a humorous effect. So let me pull up an example here that we talked about in class. This one right here that you can see, right, it's Ronald McDonald. Instead of saying, "I'm loving it," they changed it to "still loving it," question mark, right? Because they're saying McDonald's is going to make you fat, essentially, which no one would really enjoy. So you take one aspect that the author is criticizing in the dystopian fiction book that you have, and you're going to create a satirical ad to point out that issue. Maybe it's government control, maybe it's lack of privacy, maybe it's technology, all those different things that we just discussed in class. That's what you'd want to focus on. And then you write the 200-word paragraph. Now, the rest of these options, when you write that analysis paragraph, you want to make sure that you do it in claim, quote, comment formatting, just like we talked about in class. Refer back to that hamburger handout that we did in AC and in class if you have questions about claim, quote, comment formatting. Then you've got the 4th option, which is you could create a board game with answers and rules. So the board game would highlight major events, themes, and symbols from the novel. And then you're going to write a 200-word explanation for your choices. So why did you decide to include that symbol in your game board? What does it mean? What are you saying? All of those good things. The last option would be a future news story. So you would write from 5 years after the end of the events in your book. You're going to pretend like 5 years have passed in the book. You're going to pretend you are a journalist. You are writing 5 years in the future. What do you think will have happened in those 5 years that you were talking about in this article? What's going on? And you would use the evidence from the text to make those choices. So what makes you think that those things would occur in that 5-year span after the novel ends? What evidence do you have from the text? So the news story would be a minimum of 200 words, and then your analysis, giving me evidence from the text, would also be 200 words, so a total of 400 for that. I am going to go ahead and send you a example paragraph that we used in class of those analysis paragraphs, so you have it. I'm going to email that to you here in just a second. And should you have any questions, feel free to email me again and I will respond. I just wanted to send you a video because trying to explain all this via email would have been pretty difficult. So let me know if you have any questions via email, and I will respond as quickly as I can. Okay, thank you.